Hey, it's Michael with Digital T-Shirt Shop. It is the 9th of January. You know what? Yesterday was pretty interesting. I got up at 1 a.m. and started printing for a job that I needed to get done. And between, I was having this printer problem where my printer wouldn't turn on. That was problem number one. And I finally fixed it by actually unplugging the USB cable from my computer, actually is what it needed to do. So every time I unplug it from the wall and everything, the light still stayed on. And I guess the machine was drawing a bit of power from my laptop that I print everything off of. So I ended up that once I did that, turning it off, unplugging it, and then I pulled the USB out of the computer. It finally completely shut down, and then turned it back on, and it worked. And then a couple prints into it, I started having some white ink issues with printing lines in the white ink, getting a clean white ink print. Now, again, there'd been a number of days I hadn't printed or anything like that, and so the machine sat idly. So I was surprised it actually worked at first, and then it didn't work. It took me like an hour to get it clean, which was frustrating. And then I got it clean, and it started working, and I just started cranking through things. But because of the problems, the power problem, the white ink problem, cleaning problem, I didn't get the job done, even though I had kind of planned on enough hours based on what I thought it would take to print the shirts to get it done. Had everything just worked, I would have had the order completed. So it's about 20 shirts short. I noticed that printing wise, I timed it, and on this size of a print, it was taking me 6 minutes per print in order to, from print to complete to swapping it and starting the next one, about 6 minutes per shirt. So I knew I was getting about 10 shirts an hour out of it. And so I needed about 7 hours to print all the shirts. That would have given me from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. I'm supposed to be to work by 8 a.m. I was going to go in just a little bit late, but I ended up leaving to work at 8 a.m. and had only done 50 shirts. So Linda, my assistant, came to print shirts yesterday and again had a white ink problem. And by the time she got it cleaned, she had ruined 4 shirts. And I happened to be by SLC Activewear, which great guys, thank you. SLC Activewear. I should put a link for them in the video, but SLC Activewear, I called them up and I said, look, because I thought I had seen on the label that they were the ones who had drop shipped the shirts to me from the company that I was working with, and said, look, I need 4 shirts. And I happened to be in the area. I was up there working, and I said, can I swing by and get them in 20 minutes? They said, sure. And I swung by in 15 minutes instead of 20 minutes. I waited for just 5 minutes, and they brought the shirts out to me. So they were actually very, very accommodating. I sat there talking to the young lady in the office, and they, by the way, SLC Activewear has the nicest people working in their lobby. I don't know what everybody's positions are there, and I don't even remember their names. I've been in there a number of times, and I sit there and shoot the bull with them, but I don't recall. I'm just horrible with names. I really am. I'm horrible with names, but I'm sure there's some sort of support staff of some sort, whether it's order entry or account management or whatever. I need to swap a shirt real fast. Just 1 minute. Sorry, I got to keep the printing going. So, trying to fix the shirts that I messed up on, and printing some other shirts. I should show you what I'm printing, actually. I have no idea who this is, but I did some sort of all-you-can-eat chicken. Some chickens on it, and I don't know who did the art, but it turned out pretty nice. I could see something like this being easier to do direct-to-garment than screen printing. But anyhow, so so I did that SLC activewear. I came home last night and I was so tired, so incredibly tired. And my wife wanted she had the church thing to go to. She teaches a youth class Tuesday nights. And before she goes, she made me finish dinner. She made me finish dinner, and then she had me finish some rice pudding thing she'd made in the Instapot. Now, the Instapot, we just got it for Christmas. Somebody a parent gave us some money for Christmas, and we bought that as kind of a family gift because we thought it would help with meals and simplifying some of the cooking and things like that. She looked through the little booklet that came with it, and it had a recipe for this rice pudding. She cooked the rice and left the rest of it for me to do. And my head was all cloudy. I was tired. And but I did it. It was like I had to, I guess it's got a saute feature. And so I took the rice and I added, I don't remember, sugar and coconut milk and vanilla, and had to bring it to a boil, and then added pineapple chunks and then, or tidbits, and then put it in little cups and put it in the fridge. And I went, the kids, I put the boys to bed, and the boys, when you're so tired, you just, Isaiah knew I was grumpy and didn't want anything to do with me last night. So he just wanted to go to bed. He didn't want Dad to put him to bed. And I'm not going to tell you what Robbie did. I got frustrated with him. He got his video games taken away, by the way. And not a bad thing anyways, because we've got school all week. And then I went to bed, and I vaguely remember Nicole coming in and waking me up and saying, "Hey, the rice pudding was really delicious." and so when I woke up this morning, I went and pulled one out of the fridge and ate it, and it was actually pretty good. I remember I haven't had a lot of rice pudding, but I remember on my mission, when I was on an LDS mission as a missionary in Brooklyn and Queens, New York. And I remember some people giving us rice pudding on occasions. I can't remember where they were from Peru or Dominican Republic. I know Dominican Republic, they do, I'm trying to remember what it was called, arroz con leche. I think that might have been what the Dominicans did, a version of it. Then they did one that was like rice with beans in it. That was a sweet rice and beans. I'm trying to. It's been so long, I can't even remember what the name of it was. But yeah, every time I think about that, I always think of La Bandera Dominicana and how freaking awesome that stuff is. I ate a lot of Dominican rice and beans, and I love them. Love them. And I gained a love for cilantro eating Dominican beans. because they would always throw those strands of cilantro in it, and at first I hated it, and then it grew on me over the years. But anyways, yeah, so I made that last night, and then I got up and I started printing, and I say, okay, I guess around about what I was getting to this morning, after I've sat here for 10 minutes already, was that I'm printing this morning, and I've talked about how I was kind of losing that passion. It's depressed. It's losing my motivation. I gotta switch the print class just a second. Okay, well, as I sat down and I started printing today, so watch my time, 11:40. I realized that, and actually as I was printing yesterday, that I didn't hate it quite as much as I had been hating it, and I didn't despise it as much as I'd been despising it, and I didn't lack all the motivation I had been lacking. And I don't know, maybe it's coming around again. Maybe, I got a little bit of a break, and I took a little bit of a time off, and I pissed off a few people, a few customers, because I didn't finish their stuff on time. It was shipped late. But I needed it to kind of needed a break, you know. I don't know. So maybe it'll come back. Maybe it's coming back. Maybe I will find myself here in the next couple weeks. I've got some ideas to do some things, but I've just said I hadn't had the motivation to do much. And, if that's coming back, it wouldn't hurt to go and spend the time to do a few more things, to add a few more things, to go back to trying to build the business a little bit more. I am wondering if the business is better for me doing local fulfillment than doing online printing, though. My problem is I mixing that with a day job. I kind of have to make sure that I'm adequately supporting them, and I'm hitting deadlines, and I'm working with them, I'm communicating, I'm answering the phones, I'm replying to emails and texts and all those things, and if I don't, I'm going to very easily burn bridges, and it's not even going to really matter that I have gone and developed that sales channel, because nobody's going to call me and have me do any work for them. So we'll see. It's if you look at the ABCs of business, I think I broke just about every ABC of doing business in the last couple of weeks. And it's really not funny. It really isn't. A customer doesn't think it's funny. But it's, it is kind of what it is. You you under promise and over deliver. Over promise, under promise, and over deliver. You are easy to communicate with. You're timely. You're on time. You do quality work. You know, you're accurate on your budgeting and invoicing and turnaround time, and you're timely on your communication. I think about it. So I'm still dealing with that shipment to Russia as well. And I've got this lady from DHL that has been emailing me every day. I'm still investigating it. She says every single day, I will be back with you tomorrow by this time. And I've got a whole string of emails from her every day. And she is returning an email to me every single day. And I'm thinking about it. I'm going, wow, that lady is excellent. I mean, she's absolutely excellent. I mean, how many people, when they're dealing with a problem, are like, I don't even want to deal with this. I'm going to, out of sight, out of mind. I'm not going to confront it. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to reply to it. It'll just disappear on its own. Well, for me, in my case with that Russian shipment, that's $750 I'm trying to get back from DHL because their agent in Russia wanted to extort my customer for $1,400. And so the shipment was returned to me because he wasn't going to pay the $1,400 to get it. And, you know, so I don't know. So let's see, my time on the video said, I think it was like 11:40. Right now it's 16:50 going on to 17. So that was 5 minutes and 20 seconds roughly. You have about 40 seconds flipping the shirt around and you're done. That's 6 minutes of shirt turning that around. So I'm going to go. So I'm going to go finish these shirts and get done. And I just feel like I'm kind of rambling about odd things. But that's kind of what's going on. You know, maybe my love for printing's coming back a little bit. I'm not disliking it like I was disliking it. You know, I imagine everybody goes through those phases of like loving or hating what you do. But I'll tell you this, I'm definitely, my mindset on it is simplify. I don't want to have as many websites as I had. I'm going to trim it down to just a couple, and you know, maybe I put some of the things back on Merch by Amazon. I hate Merch by Amazon. I just don't want to keep relisting things. But maybe I do. Maybe I put some things on there, and then maybe I'm really, really highly thinking about dropping the digital t-shirt shop Etsy site and just putting everything under my other Etsy site that seems to be working better. I'm thinking about restructuring my pricing so that my pricing is lower. I've kind of wondered if maybe things on digital t-shirt shop didn't sell as well as they did because people weren't seeing the value with the price. And really, honestly, I feel like I need to do that in order to that pricing in order to, you know, make it worth it to me. But if I'm not, you know, if I'm not selling it under a name that I'm distributing to other people under, you know, I think I can work it. I think it'll work. You know, so I'm thinking about dropping all my colored shirts down to $15 and white shirts down to $10 to see if I can boost the sales. And I'm also thinking about dropping the different prices between youth and adult shirts. Youth shirts cost more. Typically, the shirts cost more, the ink costs less than the adult shirts, and the adult shirts usually cost less and the ink costs more. And I'm thinking about just selling them all for the same price. So whether you buy an infant, toddler shirt or adult shirt, it's just the same price, rather than having the price variations. The only variation would be is if it's a white shirt, that it would be cheaper. I don't have to pre-treat it. I don't have the white ink cost. Super simple to print. So yeah, we'll see. That's what I'm thinking about doing, and dump it all under one site, and then see if I can spur some sales by doing that. Just take some time to do it though. Anyhow, okay, have a good day. Don't forget to subscribe to Digital T-Shirt Shop and see if I completely get out of my funk and start cheering about T-shirts. But I'm not quite to that. I'm cheering. I'm excited. I'm not that point yet. Really, I'm not. But I did sit down today and feel like, actually, this isn't quite as bad as I thought. I actually do kind of like this. So, which is better than what it's been. Really, really better than it's been. So, yeah. All right. Have a good day.